Black Friday week has started on Amazon and the deals are out. Today we're going to take a look at 7 smart home deals. We got deals on locks, lighting, cameras, sensors, and more. So let's get started. Now today's video is sponsored by Aqara. If you're familiar with my channel, you know I've been using their stuff for years. A big part of that is because their stuff works with Apple Home, while most things didn't work with Apple Home a couple years ago. Now they have a large ecosystem of devices to the point where you could pretty much do your whole smart home in Aqara devices. So we're going to cover these 7 deals. I'll put links to everything I talk about down in the description, so definitely go check them out. I'll also include links to videos that I made on some of these products. First device that I think every smart home needs is a smart lock. Smart locks are great. You never have to worry about keys. You never have to worry about if you left the door unlocked because you can remotely lock it. The whole family can easily get in the house. Like my kids can use their pins or their fingerprints. And it's easy for guests. You can have temporary passwords. Now we got 2 different locks that are on sale. First is the U200. I've only had this one for a little bit, but it has the same features that my U100 lock has. I've been using the U100 smart lock for over a year now. My family loves it. They all use the fingerprint sensor or they'll use the pin on it. So super easy to use. It's actually one of my family's favorite smart devices. The thing I love about it is I can also take advantage of Apple Home Key. So if my hands are full, I can just put the watch up to it and unlock the door, or have my phone and unlock the door. Now the big difference between the U200 over the U100 that I've been using is that this U200 is a retrofit design, which means you don't have to take the whole lock out, which makes it perfect for people who don't want to remove a whole lock and rekey things, and it's perfect for renters. All you have to do is take off the inside knob. So you remove the inside knob and you replace it with the Aqara lock motor. Then you place the keypad wherever you want. The nice part is you can use the double stick tape or you can use screws to mount it. You have the flexibility where you can tuck it off to the side, somewhere where it's not on the door, or do what I did and just place it above the lock. There are multiple ways to open these locks. You can use home key. You got the pin, fingerprint sensor. You don't need a new key because you use your existing one. And you can take advantage of NFC tags. The U200 is over 20% off. The silver one will be $209.99, while the black one will be $199.99. Now this is a Matter over Thread lock. If you're not familiar with Matter, it is a smart home standard that creates a universal language for smart home devices so that they can all work together. If you see the Matter logo, you don't have to worry if it's going to work with your smart home, especially if you're an Apple Home user. Now Thread is a smart home communication protocol that creates a mesh network with your devices, and Thread devices can talk to each other, so they don't have to rely on a central hub to communicate. Then if a device goes down, they just start to talk around that device that's not working. To really get the most out of these locks and other Aqara devices, you do want to hook it up to the Aqara app, and to do that, you are going to want to have one of Aqara's hubs. We'll talk about the hub in a moment, but first I want to talk about the U300 smart lock. This is one I recently made a video on, and I like this lock a lot. A big reason why is it's an indoor or outdoor smart lock. It's meant to replace your normal lock on a doorknob or add a lock to an existing doorknob. I'm using mine on my garage side entrance, which is nice. I didn't want to have to drill a hole to put a deadbolt in there and then do a smart lock that way. Instead, I have the black one that matches perfectly inside. It's got a nice modern look to it. Some of the features I like about it is that I can use my Apple Watch or I can use my phone to unlock it. The fingerprint sensor is super quick. You also have the pin to open it up. And I basically have the same kind of functionality that I have on my front door, which is really convenient. The Aqara U300 uses AA batteries and it can last up to 10 months. Depending on how much you use the door, like we barely use our side door, so it may last a lot longer. The price for the U300 is also 20% off. It is normally $229.99. For the silver one, you can get it for $183.99, or you can save an additional $4 and go with the black one that I have for $179.99. You can hook this up directly to a smart home controller like I did, but to really get the most out of these devices, you do want to use the Aqara app, and you do want to use one of their hubs. And since this is a Thread and Matter device, you need a Thread border router and a Matter controller, which leads to this next deal. It is the M3 hub. The M3 hub hub is meant to control not only Aqara Zigbee devices, but third-party Zigbee devices. It also has a Thread border router built in, so you could hook up Thread devices right to it. It is a Matter controller, so you can use it to connect your Matter devices too. The Aqara M3 hub also supports Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and is an infrared emitter. So you can control many devices directly from the Aqara hub. And you can have those button presses, you can bring those in to Apple Home and write them into automations. The Aqara M3 hub goes way beyond other hubs. And I made a video on it. I'll put a link in the description. It also has a siren built in, so you can pair it up with sensors and use it as a DIY alarm. It allows you to run your devices locally without needing an internet connection. Now, I know there's folks out there that are not a big fan of using hubs, and I understand it's easier just to connect up with Wi-Fi, but Wi-Fi devices tend not to be as reliable. The most reliable devices that I have in my house all require a hub. From my smart switches, to my smart bulbs, to all the Aqara devices. When I lost internet, these are the devices that still work offline. The M3 will be over 20% off, bringing it down to $99.99. Next, every smart home needs smart lighting. And just to give you a little background, my former career was as a lighting designer in the entertainment industry and doing a lot of video work. I'm kind of picky when it comes to lighting. Most LEDs out there do horrible white light because they'll just cheap out and go with RGB. Now, the Aqara T1M is a ceiling light. The reason I like it is they used a lot of cool white LEDs and a lot of warm white LEDs. So you can really mix the color into really warm or really cool. And it maintains a good brightness throughout. Now, there is a ring of light around it. This ring around there isn't meant to light up a room. It is an ambient light that will give you a nice little glow, but it can be used for different automations. Like, for example, you can have it flash if the front door lock is left unlocked, or you can have it change colors. Like, I made an automation that changes to a green to let me know that it's a trash day. Or if the doorbell rings, it changes to red. Now, this is another Matter device. You're gonna want to hook it up to a hub like the M3, because that's going to give you, along with the Aqara app, that's going to give you all these automations that no smart assistant is going to be able to touch. Now, the Aqara T1M, since it is a ceiling light, it's a little more expensive than your bulbs and your light strips out there. Normally, the T1M is $149.99, but now it's 26% off, bringing it down to $109.99. That's a $40 savings. That's a huge difference. Next deal is the Aqara E1 camera. When it comes to cameras inside the house, there's really only a couple brands I trust. The big problem is a lot of the popular ones out there require cloud accounts, and all your stuff goes to the cloud. The beautiful thing about the Aqara cameras is that they can record locally. So you can put in an SD card and have continuous recording, or just when motion's captured, and then you can always review right off that card. It never has to go to the cloud. You can also take advantage of Apple HomeKit Secure Video, which allows you to save clips right into your iCloud account. So you take advantage of Apple's encryption and privacy for your storage. There's a few things I like about the E1. It is a 2K camera. It has pan and tilt. It has a good privacy mode, and it works with Apple Home, which not a lot of them do. I forgot also the local recording I mentioned earlier, because I don't want anything indoors go into the cloud. For the privacy mode, the E1 will actually rotate around and face the wall, so it can't see anything. You can take advantage of it like I do. I'll just leave it in privacy mode when I'm at home, but if I need to open it up in the Apple Home app, it'll just turn around and leave privacy mode. And then I close it in the Home app, and then it goes right back to privacy mode. Some of the AI features with it is the person tracking, so it can follow somebody around the house. Now, if you were thinking the E1 was too expensive at $59.99, it is now 33% off, bringing it down to $39.99. So a pan tilt 2K camera at that price, that's a great option. Next, I want to talk about a presence sensor. Motion sensors are great as long as there's motion, but once motion stops, then they suck. That's where presence sensors come in, like the Aqara FP1E. P1E. Presence sensors use millimeter wave to detect the slightest bit of motion. From you breathing, it knows you're in the room. So if you go in the room and it triggers lights, those lights will stay on until your presence is no longer there. Some of the other features about the P1E is that there's interference reduction, so there will be less false alarms because it learns about the space. Having a presence sensor over motion is great. The P1E has flexible mounting options. You can mount it on the ceiling, on a wall, you can put it in the corner. Now this will need an Aqara hub to connect to. If you want to get the most out of automations with this sensor, you definitely want to go into the Aqara app and take advantage of the integration across their devices. The P1E presence sensor is 20% off at $39.99. The next deal we'll talk about is the Aqara P2 door and window sensor. Doors and window sensors are great. You can use them to create your own alarm system, such as pairing them with the M2 or the M3 hub. You can take advantage of the sirens built in those and get notifications if your system's armed and it goes off for any reason. You can also take advantage of these sensors for automations. I have one on my garage door that once that door opens, turns on lights. I have one in my pantry. As soon as I open the door, an LED strip I put in there turns on. What I found with the Aqara sensors that I like is the response time. But once you put on these sensors, you can set up notifications. The P2 sensor is Matter and Thread compatible, so you do need to have a Thread border router and a Matter controller. You can connect it directly up to your smart assistant, but again, to get the most out of it, you want to get one of the Aqara hubs. The P2 is 20% off at $23.99. There's a few of Aqara's deals. Pretty much their whole lineup is on sale, and during Black Friday week, you can save up to 40% and at the minimum 20% off their devices. So definitely check them out using the links in the description. If there's a product you're interested in, definitely check to see if I made a video on it so you can learn more about it. Now, if you made it this far, please consider giving this video a like and subscribing to check out the next one. Next, check out this video over here on the Aqara U300 lock. This lock is stylish. It works with all the smart assistants. It has a fingerprint sensor, use a watch, a lot of great stuff. So check it out. I'll see you over there. Thanks for watching. Bye.